Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever and whenever you are, and welcome to Take the Points.
A true underdog podcast.
Yay,
He's back. Wilson's back. Woo.
Yes.
God, okay, Wilson, did you listen to the past couple episodes, or at least the last one?
Well, of course I did.
How horrible is Steve at the intro? He's so bad.
He changed it up a little bit, and I actually kind of liked how he said, "This is Take the Points."
Yeah, I'm good with that too. It was more like the rap, the start and the rap. Sometimes I swear he looks at me with these deer in the headlights look like, and I'm like, I'm not the lead guy. I'm the assist. I don't know. That's the role I play. I don't lead this thing off.
I disagree. I think you are the lead guy, but not on the intro.
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
Well,
how you doing? Are you feeling good about life?
I'm good, man. Yeah. I'm going to use. I know, like, Steve's hopefully going to jump on at some point here. We'll see. He's got some kids going nuts tonight, so it's just the two of us to start. But yeah, man, things are good. We're kind of hitting that. I don't want to say dull part of sports, but NBA finals are obviously going to kick off here soon. Eastern and Western Conference finals going on now. Hockey's obviously, Wings aren't in it. Tigers are the main story right now. We still got a ways to go till football starts. There's
it's
just
slow.
Not a ton. Yeah, it's kind of a lull right now. So that's why, it's just been outside of the Tigers, maybe watching some hoops, but there's 17 days in between games. Like it's been a weird vibe.
I just don't care that much about any of these teams. I've obviously still watching all of them because I love the NBA. But man, I wouldn't have drawn it up to be these teams if I could have written the script.
Did you see the ratings last night? Were like the worst they've been in like 6 years or something. It was like brutal. It's like COVID numbers is how bad it was watching that game.
Bad. Who cares about Oklahoma City and Minnesota? I mean, the people in those cities do, but they're small market teams. The only thing that's even interesting is Shea versus Ant. I mean, two of the best younger players in the league. They're they are this generation. You can't even say the next generation. They are the now of the NBA. Sure.
Which maybe's a sign, Wilson. Maybe that shows too, like the stars of the real stars of the NBA that people care about. It's this aging crew of guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the LeBrons, the Stephs. Like that's what, at least maybe it's two guys in the same age group that's speaking that way. But like, I don't have the same fire for watching those two guys go at it that I do for, Ant or, whoever it may be. But now granted, Steph and LeBron are, two of the greatest players that we've seen play. So that's probably not an unfair comparison, but
I think that this year, it's pretty likely, in my opinion, that one of those two guys is going to win it. I currently think that the Thunder are going to win it. I think that they're going to actually win it pretty easily. I think that they beat the T-Wolves in 6, and then they go up against the Knicks and beat them in 6 as well, or 5 or 6.
They're real good.
They're
so
really
deep
good
too, dude. Their benches, like they're rolling like 10, 12 guys deep, man. It's fucking crazy.
It's kind of not fair. It's kind of not fair. And then you got SGA leading the way as he's just ridiculous. So, but if they don't win it and the T-Wolves go to the finals somehow, then I think they're going to win it. So one of those two guys, in my opinion, is going to start establishing their legacy.
Yeah.
And then, and you talk 5, 6, 7 years from now, when those guys are in their 30s, now it's like, oh, okay, now they have this legacy that you care about, that these other aging players have already built.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's probably why. Yeah. They got a little bit more stock, the LeBron and the Stephs. We've seen them go to battle with each other, and, but even like Jokic is going to go down as, if he keeps up these stats, I mean, he'll be one of the best statistical players that the NBA has seen for his size, the way he can shoot. Like, but even a guy like that, right? It's like, we don't see him even in Detroit. Like, he's not on TV a ton. You know what I mean? You catch him once in a while if he's on a national game, and that's it. Playoffs come around, and that's just the nature of hoops. But I wasn't shocked to see the ratings down so much, but it just was more of we want a new team to win.
Yeah.
You look at the ratings, it's like, do we really want a new team to win? But I think it'll be 7 years in a row, I think, of a
something like that. Yeah, I was thinking about that the other day, but I really wanted Denver to get there because of Jokic. I wanted to watch him play more.
So good.
He's so good. I mean, they have a good team too outside of him, but he's obviously the major leader there, and he's so good that super deep team that you're talking about in OKC.
Yeah.
I mean, he almost beat them. Took them to 7 games.
With a coach that took over 2 weeks before the season ended.
I wanted to see it. I wanted to see it because that would have been a great story. And then I on the other side, I really was hoping, that Cleveland or that Boston would be there, because I think that'd be much more interesting as well than seeing like the Pacers. I'm just not interested in.
Pacers, man, back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals. It's crazy.
It's surprising.
This team you don't expect to be there, that's there. Like the body of Rick Carlisle somehow still coaching, like just crushing it. Just, I mean, kudos to Indiana. I think I'm pulling for them again in this Knicks series.
Yeah, I probably am too. I just don't care about them at all. Like, there's nothing there that is interesting to me to watch other than the basketball itself. Like the players, the story, it's just not there. It's just good basketball. Yeah. Which I love that, but you want the story.
I've entered like last 10 minutes, fourth quarter viewership is where I'm at now. We're like second quarter. I'm good. I'll turn it back on. Oh, it's the fourth. It's a close game. Sweet. I'll watch the last like 8 minutes. You know what I mean? Like I know I'm willing to admit it. Like that's where I'm at. I'm checking in. It's not like must-see TV right now, Obviously, the Pistons are out of it, but that's not why. I think it just doesn't have a lot of pop. And, dude, we got to say, the Tigers are playing so well. Like, if I'm given the choice of, like, watching the Tigers or watching, the game last night, I'm watching the Tigers. Like, that's just what I'm doing.
Dude, I'm watching more Tigers than I ever have in my life.
I love it.
I think it's because they are – amazing for the first time in a long time.
Crazy,
I saw that they the last time they had a 95 win season was 2011.
Crazy.
And we are on pace right now to be over 100. Now, is that actually going to happen? Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to cool off. Everybody we'll level out a little bit. But if we could even come close to 100, like a 95 win season, who would have thought that would have even been possible? I don't know.
This guy.
I don't know if this is going into something else that we're going to talk today about Jinxes. But I don't. I'll spoil it for you. I don't believe in him, so I'm very, very
you don't
willing.
Believe,
no,
listen. I am. We're going to use this pod today. I need to get this off my chest, man. I'm in a dark place right now when it comes to sports. I am in my head. I have this feeling that when I watch these teams that I love, that 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, when I start watching, it'll be like double homer, Tigers are down. And I'm like, shit. Like I told you to end the Pistons series. That last, the last game, I literally did. You saw the text. I stopped watching because I turned it on and things went sideways and I just shut it off. And I'm sitting there texting with my dad and he's like, turn on the game. You got to watch it. You got to live in the moment. And I was like, I can't do it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I got a problem.
I got a question for you then. It's one of these two things. Either you think that you have that much power and sway in the universe that you can change the course of history and the way that people play just by your eyes being on a screen. So either you think you have that much power or you think that God is cursing you and saying, Robbie, you watching this, you care about this. I'm going to make this happen negatively for you. Which one is it?
I'm going to go with one.
You have that much power.
Yeah. I was okay. So I was like, I've been like seriously like looking in, like reading information about like sports jinxes. Cause I just think it's a fascinating topic. Like there's so many times in sports, this came up a couple of weeks ago while I bring it up too, is not only because of this Pistons game, but my dad and I were at the Tigers game. It was that night that Scooble went like 5 innings, like with a perfect game. And then he gave up a hit or whatever. My dad and I were at the game. And my dad looks over to me in like the 5th inning or start of the 6th, whenever it was that he lost it. I can't remember. He went through 5 or he was starting the 6th. He looks over to me and goes, oh, like, did you see this is a pretty special game right now? And I'm like, yeah, I'm aware. I'm watching the game. What do you think happened next batter, dude? Next batter, hit. It's like the sports jinx, whether you want to say it's I'm watching or someone says like, hey, this guy's got a no-hitter going, bam, a hit. Or how many times you see us in basketball like, hey, he's made his last 21 free throws, clank. Like,
no, I know.
It's like you just have to think like the fact that I would think that I somehow have the power to shift a game, which
it's wild.
But Wilson, it's what like my mind. I think to me, it's irrational. Like it's how I rationalize in my mind. If a game doesn't go well, and let's say a game doesn't go well and I wasn't watching, right? I don't think anything of that. Like, oh man, if I would have been watching, they would have won. But if I'm watching and it doesn't go well, I think I'm so pissed that I spent all that time watching like a baseball game and it was 9 innings. Let's say it was 2.5 hours. I did nothing that night. I watched the whole game and then we blow it or something in the 9th. Yep. My psyche is just like gone. Like I'm just devastated and it's just something I'm trying to deal with. I'm trying to work through it. I'm coming here for advice. I need thoughts.
I feel the same way. Like when I watch a game, especially if it's like Michigan State basketball and I watch the whole game and it's a close game or we had a lead or something and then we lose, I think to myself, I wasted my freaking night because now I'm just pissed. And I ended up spending 2+ hours to just piss myself off. But I think that the way I think about that is that makes the wins even sweeter. It really does. When you know that feeling of defeat and you know that it's very likely a possibility every game.
Yeah,
man, it feels so much better to win.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's like it's also sports is like the greatest story that ever exists. It's the greatest storyline that you could possibly have. And that's what makes sports great, right? Like you could sit there and watch 2 hours of a great game, Michigan State, and they lose at the buzzer.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever. And we've seen that happen. Think about any sport, walk off in the 9th, those Pistons games at the end, right? The 3-pointer that goes in at the end of when Jalen Brunson hit that 3 over Asar or whatever. Like you can look back on that and say, I'm so glad I watched it 3.5 hours because it was just like, it's like a great movie, right? It was awesome. The movie didn't end how I wanted to. I look at that and say, damn it, I wish I never would have even watched it in the first place because I'm so angry now that I just wasted time, which is probably a horrible, horrible mentality to have.
But think about it. If every single game you watched was just a guaranteed win, there'd be no stakes. Like you wouldn't even be excited about it because like your heart is pumping because you know the possibility of loss is so real. And that's, I think, the greatest thing about sports, in my opinion, is the stakes. The stakes. And that comes with losses. It's tough. But
I know.
But just like back to the jinx thing.
Yeah. Like, sorry, I got off topic.
No, I think that's great. I think like for me, in the moment think to myself, don't say this out loud because somebody else is going to tell me I jinxed it. Like, so I still hold to I'm not going to jinx this in the moment while I'm watching something. Like I don't say there's a no-hitter going on just because I know that then I will be the one blamed when somebody inevitably gets a hit, but I don't believe in it at all.
Fascinating. I'm probably the worst, Wilson. I suck. I believe truly, like there's been so many great moments that I have not watched live because I've been fearful that I have jinxed them. But like I look at the greatest loss I've been at myself, which is that Lions game in San Francisco. I had probably 50 texts from friends from college up to halftime being like, this is the greatest game ever. How does it feel to go to the Super Bowl? And I said nothing. All I was like, keep going. Like, it was just like, nope, crazy things can happen. So that's a situation where I was in person. I had nowhere else to be. I'm watching the game and it was like the greatest half ever. And I didn't lean into the jinx, to your point. I didn't want to be the one to be like, yeah, I'm booking my tickets.
Right.
We're going to the Super Bowl.
But dude, you jinxed them by being there.
Right. Maybe that's it. And like, look at this year. I bought NFC Championship tickets before the game. Remember? I was debating about this. Like, do I buy it? Do I not? I don't want to jinx it. I fucking bought them and they lose to Washington. I think it's a way that we cope is what I think. I think it's my mind's way of coping with like trying to find a reason for a loss, and I put the blame on myself. And even though I have nothing to do with it.
I got a kind of question that seems maybe off the wall, but I think it's related. Do you count the number of steps that you're walking up as you're walking up them? In your head.
If I say yes, am I like
OCD? It's just OCD. Problems? Yeah, the jinx is a compulsion for you.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I think it is, dude. Do you have OCD? Because I mean, like that. I think that is an actual legit thing.
So my personality trait, which is like OCD perfection, I expect everything to be perfect. And so like when the Tigers player drops a pop fly or something that he should have caught, my immediate response isn't like, we'll get him back next inning. I'm like, you're an absolute moron. How did you drop that ball?
Yes.
Like that's what goes through my mind.
You can't accept it. Yeah. And I have some of those tendencies as well. I think it doesn't extend to this because I have logical reasoning in my brain.
Now, Wilson, I got to ask this. Are there any, like, you say you don't believe in jinxes. Are you like a good luck type of guy? So let's say you're watching the Pistons and they're losing, they're down by 15, and you're like, I got to move my seat. Like I got to change something up to try to, like, you don't think about that at all.
No,
I am so opposite. I am so opposite.
Dude, my brain just knows that that with me being a 30-minute drive away from the stadium or if they're states away, and I'm watching a game, even if they were on my block or I was in the stadium, me sitting a different way or moving a cup is going to have zero impact on whether a shot goes in or a pass gets stolen.
Wilson,
it's just impossible.
I could not be on more of an opposite end of the spectrum than where you are.
Walk me through the physics of that.
It's something you cannot explain. There is no logical reasoning of why that would ever be the situation. But look at the rally cap in the 9th inning of a baseball game when fans do that. That is all coming from like we are somehow controlling the outcome of this game. So now, and I think it's just incredible.
I'm going to push back on that because I think the rally cap is like a vibe that is tangible in the actual ballpark. When the players look around and they see the rally caps come out and they feel the energy of the crowd as they're doing that can impact their psyche in a way that me changing my seat on the couch at home cannot.
I also can't give away my secrets. Yes, I have a couch, and if the Lions are losing, I'll move to the other couch that we have. It only comes out in certain times. It's like my emergency parachute on a skydive. I only pull it when I need to, and when I pull it, it better win.
Does it work? It works
most of the time. But now Wilson, what goes through my mind now?
You just jinxed that.
I just jinxed it. The only jinx I know we've 100% done in our life is we jinxed the Red Wings. 1,000%.
Dude, no freaking way. Because we've talked about the Tigers' hot start. I even had an episode titled Tigers' hot start this season.
I was worried about it. Have you heard me on here when we were talking about the Tigers? I am very non-committal.
I know.
And one game at a time. One game at a time. I refuse. Wilson, that's where that comes from. It comes from my fear of things are almost so good that if I say something, they're going to go the opposite way. And to your point, it's coming back to me.
Well, of course, it's about you.
I mean, everything's,
listen, yes. Well,
I'm the alpha.
Who is this?
Speaking of alphas, there he is.
Wow, with the tank top. Oh my God.
Look at that.
Look at those traps. Yeah. Oh my God, dude.
Do you ever?
I'm feeling good.
Do you ever not wear a tank to this pod ever?
No, mainly because this room is the hottest place on earth.
So are you.
Love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Wow.
He is coming.
All right, all right, start over. Let's go. Let's start over.
Yeah, Steve, we're going to start off like you start off the pod, which is just butchering the intro every time. It's different words every time you start it. It's great. Yeah. It's great. Wilson said he prefers it. He actually likes it. Classic.
I do.
Yeah.
No, I said that I like that you say, this is take the points. You said that on the last one instead of welcome to.
Yeah.
I like that. It was your own thing. Yeah.
See, I think
I got my own brands.
I feel like Welcome flows more with a true underdog podcast. Like it leads, like when you say just like the way you said it, I feel like that's like end. That's it. There's no room for like an added context.
Oh, that's true. So it's definitive.
That's why I feel like welcome to take the points. It's open. There's room for me to come in and say a true underdog podcast. Now we've ended it. But
fair.
Wow. I am so glad I joined this conversation.
Well, before you joined, it was even more trivial, actually. We were talking about whether it actually impacts the game when Robbie moves from one seat on his couch to the other couch. He thinks it does.
Steve, are you okay? Steve, okay, before you say anything, Steve, this is the question. Do you believe in jinxes and or what I just said of like you can somehow change the outcome of a game in some, couch move or hat you're wearing? Do you believe in that at all? What?
No.
Really?
There is correlation and not causality.
I call bullshit. You guys got to do something in the middle of a game. Like, come on.
Well,
no, I disagree.
There will be times if it's a bad game, it's like I got to just stop watching because maybe they'll turn it around.
See? Okay, but that counts.
That counts. But it doesn't happen.
But Wilson, this counts. I got Steve. That counts as like you.
Hold on though. But let me clarify. If they do, if I stop watching the Lions and then they win, like they make a comeback and they win, I don't suddenly say I have to not watch every game or I have to leave at halftime every time. And I know that's exactly what.
But do you think that in the moment, do you think, oh, it's because I stopped watching, they came back and won?
I don't think it's because of me, but if I'm outside like doing yard work or whatever, and I check the score and the Lions are coming back, I'm like, I'm just going to leave this be. Like, I am just going to leave this be because
there's a little
this
belief.
Is the way it's meant to be.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
So
you're kind of in the middle there because I would say that it sounds like you are impacted by that in the moment. You think that you are changing the course of the game.
I don't think I'm changing the outcome of the game. I just think that my experience with the game for that day is now over.
But what about when you have somebody on the other side who's doing the exact same thing, like that's rooting for the other team? It's like, oh, I have to do my thing that I always do, or I can't watch because they'll lose. You think it's just like a back and forth, like a spiritual battle of whose jinxes are going to work out and be bad?
Like who's got more soldiers out there fighting against the jinx?
That's what Robbie sounds like he believes.
I believe in it. Okay, growing up playing sports, did you guys have like a lucky jersey? Or like something you would like, you had none of that?
No.
Guys, I have so many things I can tell you about that I did. I would wear, and I was a Division I cross country and track runner. Okay. Take that for what it is.
That's awesome.
I would wear in high school, all 4 years of high school, I had to listen to the same song before every race started. And I had to wear the same shirt in the warm up. I would wash it obviously in between meets and stuff, but I would have to have this. And if I didn't have it, my mindset was not where it needed to be. And I felt like the stars were not aligned and I needed that to happen. I needed to have those things to be successful.
So in my opinion, that actually matters because you are the one going out and doing the thing. Like your physical body and your psyche has impact over how you run that race. It has complete impact over it. So you need to do those things so that your brain's in the right space. Got it. Like that makes sense to me.
Because I'm doing it. Because I'm actually the one doing it.
Yeah, and if you're making
but when the Lions are playing in LA against the Chargers, thousands of miles away, there's no bearing on what seat you sit in.
No.
Like
if Jared Goff's going to fumble the ball.
Steve, I have a distinct memory of when the Lions played the Jets 2 years ago. And they had that 4th and 1 or whatever. And I literally was in the basement vacuuming. If you remember this, Steve, texting you and like excessively to be like, Steve was sending me play-by-play updates because I could not watch the game.
Man,
I don't know, man. I'm trying to get.
I'm like media timeout. Yeah, don't worry.
Yeah. Steve was like, wait, quick update. Oh wait, never mind. I just had to go to the bathroom, and we're back. It was like, what?
Yep,
that's it.
Quick update.
But guys, it's
pause for station identification.
It's impacting the way I watch sports because I'm like I have like the yips when it comes to sports right now, where I feel like I'm having trouble genuinely enjoying watching like the Tigers game without feeling like immense stress that I'm somehow either controlling the game or like that if they lose, like it's just sending me down a dark road. I got to get through it. That's why I'm bringing it to you guys. I just want you to know where I'm at. I'm like, am I taking it too seriously? What's going on?
This is a good segue into we're now sponsored by BetterHelp, where you can get a therapist. At the push.
Honestly,
like Robbie, have you talked? This is like OCD.
That's
behavior.
what I said. I just said
what
that.
Wilson said.
Yes.
Okay. So I have problems. You're right. I got problems.
I think you're just taking it. Like most people are here, and you're way up there.
Yeah, you're right.
With
I'm taking it.
I don't know, Wilson. You were going somewhere too, and I
know. I was just saying it's a compulsion. It's the same thing as like you have to tap the wall twice before you leave the house so that you are safe. Like that's a thing, and you might have some of those things. You don't have to share, but that's
this is starting to tiptoe into sports. It's fascinating. It's interesting. It's like as I've gotten older too, I feel like I love winning. I love when our teams win, man. Like I love when we can have those moments. And I think that's where I'm at. I just want it. I want it so bad. I'm holding on too tight, you know?
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm at.
You're going to have to tell yourself though, because with the Tigers right now, they are about to lose some games because they have to, because there's no way that this is like a 700 team. Like it's just it can't be.
I mean, if they are, that's dope.
They'll be the best Tigers team of all time if they are.
You just jinxed them. Son of a bitch.
But see, this is what this is my point. You can't take anything that we've talked about on the pod as a jinx for that, because it's just statistically bound to happen.
You're just speaking. You're also just speaking like you're also. It's like you're just speaking what is reality.
You're
not adding
any
context.
That Tigers aren't even playing right now, and I'm saying words that cannot impact a baseball game that happens in a different day.
Yeah, right. Right.
Like there's a difference between like Scooble's got a no hitter going through 7 innings, and you're like, no one fucking talk to this guy.
Yeah.
Because if you say the wrong thing, it's going to throw him
to
off.
him. Yes, to him. Yes.
To him. But how about at your house?
Verse the Tigers are in first place with a 5-game lead, and Robbie's like, I can't ever wear a different shirt when I watch the Tigers.
Right.
Those are very different things.
I feel like I'm opening up so much about my mental status right now when it comes to sports, but I love sports. Like it's on 24/7 at the house. I'm always watching something, and it's like when it's your own team. I think it's like I've talked about before. Like once you start playing not to lose, it takes away from the excitement when you do win, because it's like instead of when you win, it's this excitement. You actually get this relief. And I think players I think you see teams that have that, right? Where like,
I think that's
we're
real.
the underdog, like the Lions, right? It was like, oh, we lose, whatever. It's house money. We win, great. Like, but when you start having those expectations, I think that's hard. And maybe that's how my fanship is for sports, right? Where like now it's like I just expect and want to win so bad that if we don't, or if we do even, I'm just like, whew. I'm not like, hell yeah, you know what I mean? I'm like, God damn, thank God we won.
Seriously. Yeah. One other thing I want to just ask about the Tigers right now.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that we are going to because we're going to have some guys come back from injury at some point this season, some key players, Matt Vierling, Parker Meadows.
Yeah, Parker Meadows, Alex Cobb, the legend.
Right.
Mr. Ground Ball himself. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Is Mr. AARP member Alex Cobb.
$15 million a year. Unbelievable. Go ahead.
Like on paper, obviously, that makes us way better. Those guys are great. Those guys are key parts of our team. Are you a little bit nervous at all that it changes things up because we have such a good thing going right now? Like, what do you and then what do you do with Javi Baez, who's playing at like basically a Gold Glove level in center field? Like how do you do? Obviously, Parker Meadows is the center fielder. He's better. He's better. But
Parker Meadows is one of the best center fielders in all of baseball last year. Like without a doubt.
Absolutely. But Javi's been amazing. Javi's been amazing. And he's been hitting fantastic, and you don't want to throw off his psyche by changing it up on him. Are you guys at all worried about that? Like the shakeups that we're gonna have? Because you're talking about all the, how what you all socks you had to wear when you were running cross country. Now you're talking about for Javi changing his fielding position during an amazing season for him. That's got to do something to his brain. What do you think about it? It's
kind of like if it ain't broke, don't fix it type situation.
Yeah.
It's funny. As much as I'm OCD about everything else, I haven't even really been like, oh man, we got to send down Justin Henry Malloy to bring in Parker Meadows. Like shit, the Tigers are going to start losing. Like Wilson, I would say I'm not super worried about it because I think the guys you're ultimately going to send down are not like
you're going to send down Akil Baddoo.
Like, right. I think you have room on your roster. If you had 4 guys that were coming back and now it's like, you got to make a tough call on somebody that's a fringe, roster guy. I feel like, when
Trey Sweeney can probably still go back down.
They will be able to there's 2 guys on this roster that they can send down that I'm confident. Like right now it would probably be Baddoo and Malloy would go down as my guess. And then Meadows or Vierling would come up because Vierling can play the infield. Meadows can play the outfield. So I'm not super worried about it. I think what they'll do with Javi, Steve, I don't know what you think, but I think they will, when Parker comes back, he's going to be coming off injury. I think they're going to do some Parker DHs, Baez plays outfield. They're going to move those guys around. I think Baez will play more center field now. Maybe late in games you put Parker in because he is a plus defender, but that's my guess of how they'll handle that situation.
Yeah, I think they ease them back into it, but fast forward to August when everybody's hopefully healthy. I mean, health is probably going to be our biggest challenge this year, no matter what. But if Parker's back and Javi's back, I can see Javi getting some reps at third. Yeah. I mean,
he's going to have to.
We don't have. Yeah, he's going to have to. Where else are you going to play him? Or like I said, Trey Sweeney is good, not great.
Yeah.
He can.
He's been swinging a great bat.
He's been hitting the ball, man.
Yeah, he's been crushing.
Yeah, but he's always kind of like that 4A player.
Yeah, that's.
You know what I mean? Again, Water will find his level there, and if he starts to kind of, which isn't he's not a bad player by any means, but if it's like, okay, we got to send somebody down, and Trey Sweeney is a young kid who can afford to get sent back down and work on some stuff.
Yeah.
And still be a piece of this team in the future, do it and put Javi back at short.
Play Javi at short, yeah. I think it'll be like the Cole Keith, Trey Sweeney if it really got down to it, because Zach McKinstry is playing out of his mind right now. He's got like the 24th highest WAR in baseball right now. It's insane.
Yeah,
you're not sending him down.
No way.
No way. But then you have he's like an ultimate utility guy, and then you're gonna bring Vierling up, who's an ultimate utility guy.
Steve, you brought up a good point today about Vierling that I thought was interesting, right?
What about him? Trading?
Yeah. Steve said, if you're still rolling at the deadline and you get an offer for somebody, you got to throw a guy like Vierling in. Mr. Detroit Tiger, that's what it's going to.
Well, this is where I was kind of going. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going. It seems crazy to, especially if we would think about before the season started, it would have been crazy to think about potentially trading Vierling. Because he is that utility guy and he's
cheap.
And he's a good bat. And so, but at this point I'm like, man, I feel like if we can if we're number 1 team in baseball and rolling with this roster and doesn't look like things are slowing down. I mean, we just had a really great series win against St. Louis.
St. Louis.
I mean, that was that game yesterday that we came back, or I guess we were up 4-0 and then they tied it up and we had to find a way to win it in the 9th and they just pulled through. I mean, clutch Riley Green. They just are finding ways to win games. They're not slowing down. I'm like, man, the worst thing that could happen is we do some shakeups of the current situation, send some guys down and the vibe's not the same. And then all of a sudden you start going in the other direction. I don't know.
The good news is both of these guys were part of the team last year that excelled. I would be more worried if we're bringing in a guy that's never played for the Tigers or whatever, you make a trade. I think that's where maybe you risk a little bit more of that. But the fact that these guys are both core gritty Tigers guys, but this is also, it's a great problem to have. We're sitting here like shit.
Yeah.
I was just telling Steve too, we sent down Thomas Nito or whatever it is, our backup catcher that was when Rogers was here.
Yeah.
He was great. Dude,
he was
hitting
good.
330. Yeah. He might get picked up by somebody. That's a guy that should probably be on a roster right now. But you got to make a tough call. That it's a good position to be in. But But then you just got to trust with a guy like Hinch, and he gets everybody to buy in. Like, I don't think Vierling and Meadows are going to come up whenever they do and try to be Superman. Like, they don't need to do that. You just got to fit in, like, know your role, do your job, and just kind of like go with the flow. So it's something to think about. I'm just not I see it as additive more than subtractive.
It's so funny to hear the previous conversation we had about Jinxes and all your compulsions, and then to hear you have no care in the world about major shakeups on the Tigers roster.
Well, because they've been here, because they've been up, Wilson. That's why they were with the team
but
all
not
of
this
last
year.
Yeah, but they went on one of the greatest runs that MLB has seen to end a year last year, and it was all fueled by Meadows and Vierling, which is what gives me.
I think
hope.
there's truth to that.
That's what gives me hope.
Yeah.
But does then all of a sudden Javi Baez suck again when those guys come back?
He didn't have a good series. He was 2 for 18 the series. Yeah. So like he swinging out of his ass cheeks like out of sliders again today. So like it happens, man.
Look at Robbie coming in with the zinger, swinging out of his ass cheeks.
Could you imagine swinging so hard your ass cheeks were left in the dust? You just left your ass cheeks.
If there's anyone that could do it, it would be Javi,
sure.
Right? So
I think if there was anyone who was the least likely to say swinging out of their ass cheeks, it was you.
Yes, you had like plus 50,000 odds there.
I've just opened up emotionally tonight about all the inner thoughts that go through my mind with sports. That's just
you have that like call of the void or whatever it is, where you know what I mean. And it was funny because I was just talking about this today too with someone. It's like that when you're on a cruise ship and you're like, I could just jump into the ocean.
Oh man, right I hate that feeling.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the call of the void, and that's how Robbie is with sports. He's like, this could all just fall apart if I move seats now.
That's how I feel. And I would be curious. I want to encourage our listeners, leave some comments if you can here. Are you on Team Robbie here or Team Wilson or Team Steve? All three different. I am at like the far end of, I cannot move off this seat. Wilson is like, I could switch a seat every 5 minutes. It doesn't matter.
Doesn't cross my mind. Wilson. Never crosses my mind.
Steve's got a little bit. Steve's in the middle there. A little, probably leaning more toward Wilson, but you got a little bit of thought in there.
Yeah.
I don't want to change this up. So
I'm more towards Wilson. I feel like Wilson. I mean, I didn't even hear what you said about it, Wilson, but I know.
I just
there's no impact, and you can do whatever you want during a game.
Yeah. I mean, I said to Robbie, explain to me the physics of how this would work out. Like,
yes, your butterfly effect, Robbie.
Although this can dive into a much deeper non-sports related conversation about like your faith and what you think about the world. And I'll admit it. I'm a very religious guy. I'm a catechism teacher. Yeah. I am a very religious guy. When it comes to sports though, I can jinx everything.
See, I mean, I believe in God. I have faith. But when it comes down to like, do I think that God is caring enough about what seat you're sitting in that he's going to change the outcome of a game because of it? I think that's ridiculous. So no.
Yes, this isn't angels in the outfield where you wished for them to make the pennant. So that
this is me. I'm waving the hands over here.
Yes, right? God has far bigger fish to fry than the Tigers. Is Zach McKinstry gonna get a sack fly here so we can tie the game up in the?
But even more. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, when you're in that moment, though, like everyone knows this too. Everyone talks to themselves in their head. We've all this has been something else that's come up. Like everyone. Sometimes you have a little convo with yourself. You're driving to work. You're like, oh man, I got a busy day today. There's no one there. It's just you. When you're in that moment, though, and you're like watching the Tigers, and you're just like, come on, please get a hit. Like that's where it comes out. Mm-hmm. You know, you're preaching to a higher place of like last year, Andy Ibanez hitting that double or whatever, bases clearing triple in Houston. Yeah. It was like, I was like, come on, I'm on my hands and knees.
Yeah, that's a playoff game. That's a playoff scenario too, though. That's a little different, right? Yeah. Where you can talk to the TV.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm willing to admit that that's where I'm at right now, and I'm trying to work through it because I will not make it 17 games with the Lions. I will not make it. I will.
You're going to have a tough time.
I know, right? And Steve, you know what it's doing, though, truthfully? It's taken away a bit of the joy because I'm so, upset when they lose or, damn it. You know what I mean? It's taken away the thrill when they win. I'm like, whew, that was close. And that goes back to my, playing to not to lose or playing to win. It's just a slightly different
It's the expectation,
mindset. Yeah, I know.
Totally.
Anyways, I have another topic I want to bring up.
Okay, let's hear it.
Total transition, but there was like 2 NFL rules that were on the docket this week. They ultimately ended up not getting approved, if anyone's aware. One was the Lions' proposal to kind of change the seeding up for the playoffs. Essentially, it would have been every round of the playoffs, it would have reseeded. Being a division winner wouldn't have guaranteed that you have like home playoff or home field advantage throughout the playoffs, what have you. That did not pass. They weren't going to get that through. Number 2 was the tush push. That was the most controversial one. That also ended up not passing. Everyone knows the tush push. The Eagles master it. Anyways, those were 2 NFL rules. And was driving home today on the radio, and I heard this kind of like just pop up, this question of like, if you could change any rule in sports that you think is just stupid, whether it's a rule or a just something that goes back over time, an unwritten rule, if you want to say, what would that be in sport? And then also in life, not just sports, but what other things in life would you want to switch? And I thought it would be a fascinating discussion to have. We can start with the sports one, but is there any rule that you guys think are like, we got to get rid of that, or we got to change it, or it makes absolute 0 sense to have in any sport?
I have 3.
He's got 3. You were waiting. It's like this is the moment you've been waiting for.
I've been thinking about it. I have 1 in baseball, 1 in football, 1 in basketball.
Ooh, okay.
I've always thought that a ground rule double was so dumb because the ball is out of the playing field. They can't get to it. Like, it should be the same as a home run. Like, if you can hit the ball and hit it off the ground and it goes over the fence still, I think that's even harder than hitting a home run.
You just Thor hammer it overhand right into
I swear,
pitching spot.
It's less
Palace at the Malice. We got guys Malice at the Palace. Excuse me. We got guys going into the stands to be like,
or what is it? Didn't one bounce off Jose Canseco's head one time over?
Yes,
that's insane.
Or like, if it bounces off the glove and goes out, right? Isn't that technically a homer? I think
I think it is. Yeah,
interesting.
You just can't hit the ground.
But dude, think about that. Like,
I like the idea of changing it, but if it bounces out, like that's, I don't know. I feel like that's weird giving them a homer, but
it's harder to do than a home run.
I would agree with that too, Wilson. But for like when a guy's on base, that's where I don't like it. If a guy's on first and he clearly was halfway to third and it was a ground rule double, he's got to go back to third. That I hate. I think it should be like, all right, if he was obviously going to score even without it going out, then I hate that they bring him back. That I agree with. A home run, no.
I think that's the part of the rule. That I think I don't like the part of the rule where you can only advance 1 base.
Yeah.
That's where I would.
Stupid.
I think it's stupid. But it does remind me, like when you played Little League and the ball would roll under the fence. Remember, like in the outfield, the ball would roll under the fence. You have to put your arms up, right? So they knew you couldn't get the ball. Yeah.
Even in baseball, they do that. I think if it gets stuck underneath the outer,
it's the same deal. It's still
the player just stops and looks down. He's like, I can't get it. It's like, you can fucking get it. Come on.
Yeah, right.
It's so stupid.
Wilson, what else you got? What else you got?
The other thing is, I think that 3 in the key without guarding in the NBA is dumb as shit because it's actually, if you aren't guarding somebody and you're standing under the basket, that player should be able to score. Like, they're not guarding you. Like, the person that you should be guarding, that 5th guy on the other team, just give him the ball and he should be like, I don't even see the need for that. Like, okay, sure, somebody's like a Rudy Gobert just clogging up the paint, and the 5 on the other team is as a non-shooter. Okay, maybe it impacts there, but it's like, so what? He's standing under the basket. Take it to him. It's like, I don't see why that should be a thing.
Yeah. I agree with you there, and I feel like it's often not called.
It's so often not called that it's laughable. You could probably call it on like every other
15 times a game. Yeah.
Unless you're on, or unless you're Jalen Duren getting called like 5 times in that Knicks series. But
then it's then when it stands out like that, it's like, okay, this makes it even more dumb because you could have, you could have called somebody else 5 times in another game. Anyways, and then my last one is, I don't think that there should ever be an ineligible receiver downfield. I think let all those guys be eligible receivers. Why the frick not? Why not?
Yeah.
Throwing it to Frank Ragnow down the center. Don't care.
Dude,
Sick.
Why?
Why not?
Imagine what Ben Johnson could have done with that. Or Benedict Johnson, we should say now.
Yes.
Imagine what he could have done with that.
But do you guys know what is the reason why, like, Why?
I think it's and Steve, maybe I believe it has to do a bit with player safety, because when those guys go down the field and start blocking Wilson, if you're a corner and you're in coverage and you have Penei Sewell who's sprinting down the field and he's blocking you, I think it's a safety issue is why they do it. Because you got like five people rolling down the field with like a defenseless corner that can't see him coming, and you can just lay him out. But that could be wrong, but that's what I think.
And I think going the other way too, if you got Frank Ragnow catches a ball, you gotta hit him low to stop him, and you're hitting a 300-pound dude below.
Then get beefier if you can't handle it.
I like it.
Right.
Step up.
I'm fine with
Raise
it.
up.
All right. Okay. Sorry for having so many.
No, that's
fine.
Was great. Steve, do you have anything off the dome here or what?
I guess I have two. One is, and I'll preface this, I am not a fan of this sport really at all. Okay. I don't watch it. I know it's the biggest sport in the world, and that's soccer or football.
Mm-hmm.
You might call it. Our friends overseas might call it football. The offside in football, where you can't be behind a defender.
Yeah.
Like, what if you're just faster than that asshole?
Well, that's not.
And you beat him.
That's not what offsides is.
If you're behind the defender, if you're behind the furthest defender, and they pass you the ball, and you're the first guy there on offense.
Well, the idea is that you don't want someone cherry picking down at the end, that you could just kick the ball long and he's waiting.
Again, going to Wilson's point, if you just have a guy cherry picking, then you're playing. You're on a penalty kill, essentially.
I sort of agree.
But the way that it always gets called, right, when you have like a guy breaking down the field and the dude with the ball kicks it and he just beats the defender by 3 steps and receives the ball and then has a wide open look at the net and they're like offside. It's like, no, this is why no one watches fucking soccer, because it's 0-0 after 97 minutes.
Except there's like number one.
And you called 3 breakaway plays offsides. It could be 2-1 and be more.
I think
exciting.
It would bring more people to watch because it would be higher scoring for sure. Like,
but it's already the number one sport in the world. So
no, I'm talking about like if you wanted people in the United States to actually care about soccer in masses, then maybe the MLS should.
You think the offside rule is the reason?
No, it's the low scoring.
I think it's part of it. I think it's the low scoring.
Yeah.
I think it's the low scoring. Yeah. It's almost counterintuitive, right? That net's the size of a fucking school bus. And like it's 0-0. It's like how are we not getting
because
that tiny ass ball?
All the guys are offside, Steve. That's why.
No, it happens so much, Robbie. I don't know how much you.
I don't know. I feel like
okay.
And again, like I said, I don't watch it. I don't watch a lot.
Do you agree with that in hockey? Do you think there should be an offside in the NHL or no?
Well, offsides. There's a line.
That's this
offsides in hockey. It's a line.
In soccer, it's just a moving line because it's wherever the last defender is.
The line is the last defender, though. So that's what I mean. But in hockey, you get the breakaway. Someone coughs the puck up.
Yeah, but you can't be
right. And you have a 2-on-1, and you cross
as long as the puck crosses before
you cross right. But still, you cross the blue line, right, and the defender's on you or taking away the pass. However he plays it, you still got to open look at that.
Well, it's because hockey, it's not about the defender; it's about the puck going
exactly.
in.
That's where it's a subjective rule. Yeah. That's why I don't like it. It's like the defender.
I did not think
because
then
you get in this. Then you get in this line like where the defender's here and the offensive players here. Yeah. How close is it to be?
Especially when they don't have instant replay. That's always going to review it every time. I know that they've started to do that though.
Yeah, soccer's got it now. Yeah, soccer they will do it.
But I'm talking about in like high school or I don't know if they do that in college. So that's where it's really impactful. Yeah.
I don't know.
Again, I don't watch the sport a ton.
I'm kind of indifferent on it. Having played soccer, I just feel like then you really do get the cherry pick. Like you're just like booting the ball down and no one's down there. That also doesn't make for anything great either. But Steve, I get what you're saying to your point. Then defend against it.
Maybe do it like the old hockey 2-line pass. Yeah. Right. You can't do the 2-line pass.
Maybe your answer would be in soccer, establish a solid line. That's
an offside line.
An offside line. Yeah. That's a fair. Yeah. And maybe that's the compromise.
Yeah. See, maybe we just fixed the damn sport.
You just hate soccer.
I know. I can get into it. It's just I don't.
Yeah,
I just like I watch a 0-0 game and it's like I fucking want to rip my beard off. But the other rule I have is the other thing is in hockey that little trapezoid where the goalie can play the puck. Like, I don't like that's so stupid. Just let him play the puck wherever and whatever happens.
True,
happens.
I agree.
It's just like you have to play in this little tiny trapezoid.
You mean when he can touch the puck, so you can't be like
when he can touch the puck. Yeah, he can. Yeah, sure. You can't. Yeah, he's not going to skate up like Goldberg and the Mighty Ducks and just. You know what I mean? But
I'm just imagining like the goalie, the puck's in the corner, and he's just jumping out with his glove, trying to cover it up to get the whistle.
Yeah, right. But I mean, yeah, that little trapezoid where you can only play it in that little spot is just silly.
Expand it.
It's just
at least
silly.
expand it.
I don't know.
Or make it that whole spot, that whole.
But what is that going to do? He's
net.
not going to grab the puck behind the net. What the hell's the point of that?
I just think it's a silly. It just looks silly. That little trapezoid back there just looks silly.
Okay, so it's more of the looks.
So Steve has OCD as well.
Yes, there we go. So
sure,
that might Steve's two least favorite sports, soccer and hockey, have the two rule changes that we like the most. Okay, that's fair. I'm okay with that.
What's yours, Robbie?
It's hilarious. I got a couple too. One is going to be in football, and I've hated this rule forever. Can we get rid of the 10-second runoff? Like at the end of the games.
Yes.
I know the Lions got effed on that in that Falcons game a couple of years ago.
Mainly because it screwed us so many times.
It's just a weird thing. Like there's so many ways you can manipulate that rule at the end of it. Like we got fucked in that game against the Falcons because the refs made the wrong call. And I just think it's dumb to be like, by rule, it's a mandatory 10-second runoff. When the officials stop the play, it should not be a 10-second runoff.
The problem was it was a 10-second runoff, but the game can't end on a review.
Right. It was dumb.
So they should have had zeros on the clock and had one free play.
Right.
It's manipulating time.
Yeah, I just think that's
manipulated time.
Manipulated time.
I think it's just dumb. Yeah. I hate the rule in baseball having a guy in second base to start the
extras. I kind of like it. I
think it should be one out.
At least during the regular season.
Steve, I think it should be one out because what I don't like is you cannot get a hit in that inning and you can still score a run. You can do it. You don't have to hit the ball. You hit a deep fly ball, guy tags up and goes to second. You hit another fly ball, the guy scores, and you could lose the game with the other team not having to ever get a hit. And I just don't think that's
right.
I agree.
I think it's just a weird. Yeah. I'm okay with it. Maybe put him on first with no outs. I'm fine with that. Or
first would
put
be
him
fine.
on second with one out.
Isn't it similar though to football where they now like when they get into the overtimes, like long overtimes, they start at like the freaking 10-yard line or something? Isn't that a thing now?
In football, yeah.
In college,
college.
Similar thing there.
Wilson, that was going to my other thing that I don't like is when you get this third overtime now in college, they just go 2-point conversions back and forth.
Yes.
It's so stupid.
I think so too.
Yeah. The whole game's coming down to a fucking 2-point conversion. How many of those plays do I have in my playbook? Now, granted, that's a unique situation where a game goes 5 overtimes, but I just think it's just like that's how we're deciding a game. I've just played 65 minutes and I'm going to lose this game on a 2-point conversion play.
Yeah. That they didn't earn because they didn't score the touchdown to earn it.
It's just dumb. Yeah. I just think it's, I think that rule is stupid.
What if they made it just a touchdown and you have to line up from the 7?
Yeah.
The 7-yard line.
I'm okay with that.
And made it worth 6. It's literally the exact same thing.
Yeah, but it's like true, fair.
You just hate that they call it the 2-point conversion.
Because what I don't like is you have this great game going on and then all of a sudden you put everybody at like the 3-yard line and like that's where we're at. It feels like just let them play it out at that point. Why are we have to go to the 2? Let them go to the 25. If they turn it over, they turn it over.
I think 25 is the closest they should go. Yeah.
Like whatever. Steve, it's
don't put them right in the red
it's
zone.
Not about the 2-point. You're right. It's not about what they call it. It's about the fact that they give you the ball at the 2-yard line. And
at the 2-yard line, yeah.
It's like, okay, so all right, that's the end of the game, huh?
That was kind of fun. I hope. Oh, no, you have more. Fun. You have another one.
There was only one other one. I'm curious your guys' take on
this
because this can go one way or the other. Is going to be in football, the pass interference call. It's different in college and football or college and pro. Where
spot
college,
foul,
it's spot foul versus the 15 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, do we like the 15-yard or do we like the spot of the foul? Because you could argue the argument to doing the 15 yards, right, is that like it just doesn't become like your game isn't over if you give up a 50-yard pass and you pull them down, right? But the opposite of that is then you're just going to have guys that are getting beat.
It's a hack a shack.
Right. They're just going to be hacking dudes. So that's the only one. I don't know. I think I lean on the 15 yards just because why not?
Well,
But
I agree, because if you're putting it at the spot, then you're basically saying that guy was guaranteed going to catch the ball, which you don't
That's what I
know.
don't like.
You don't know that at all.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, Robbie could have switched his seat,
Right.
and that catch would never have been complete.
That was a great way to tie it all together. Yeah.
Those are my thoughts. How about life? How about screw sports? Is there any rules? Now again, it can't be like, I want to like do something horrible in the world. That's like a law. But like, let's think of dumb processes, whatever it is.
Like Robbie's like murder.
I mean, the obvious one is the freaking way that they seat in airline, like when you're boarding the plane. It's so stupid.
That was number one for me,
first class
Wilson.
people, the comfort plus people, they need to get on the plane first so that they can sit there for longer. Why?
Sit in the desk
Yeah,
tube.
because you get free drinks. That's why you go. You get there. Your drinks are complimentary. You don't got to wait for all the pours to get on.
Dude, but then think about this from a process standpoint. Now everybody's got to walk past you with their luggage that they're carrying, and you're sitting there, and you got to try to scoot past all these people, and then you got to stop halfway on or every 2 seconds so that somebody can put their bag up. They need to seat the last row first. Then nobody waits for anybody to be putting their bag up. Just seat it in order. This should be like Japan does processes. Like, just make it make sense.
This is like Aldi.
You mean when they shove 730 people in a train car, and like they have literally police officers outside shoving them all in? Have you ever seen those videos?
And it works. It's efficient. It's efficient.
Yeah, when like the door closes and it like pushes your face,
and they're alive, and everybody gets there.
I do think being on a plane in general is just like you see the worst in people.
Yeah,
all the time.
Wilson, I agree with that. Was my number one, was like, because in Europe they'll load like both at the same, like you'll have like someone going in, right? Don't they have like both the doors open or whatever? And then it's not like, they actually will load you up on the tarmac sometimes too. So you have like two lines going at the same time. And can we have, when I check a bag above my seat, I have a designated place for my bag?
Absolutely.
I'm 13A. 13A has its own slot for a bag. And if I choose not to use that, then I mark it on my ticket or whatever, and then that becomes assigned to somebody else. Because otherwise, we got people, there's no room for my bag. I'm going to go back in 30B, but you're sitting in 15A, which means your ass when we land is trying to go through all the people to get to the bag.
Dude, it sucks. It sucks. This is why in Delta you need to be at least zone 5. If you're beyond zone 5, you're probably not even going to get to check your.
You're dead.
You're going to have to check your roller bag at the gate for sure.
Why are you even flying at that point if you're
Dude,
zone
we were
5?
so late when we went to Disney World. We were so late for our flight because like my family has no concept of time. We were so late. They were calling our names.
Oh,
and I've never had my name called at the airport. I was like, fuck. I was like, we got to get there. Then they were like, yeah, you guys, there's no room for any of your stuff. And we all had like the little kids had their carry-ons and stuff. I was like, just fucking
get me on the plane.
Take it all, dude. Take it all and give me a margarita.
I love it. Yeah. Do we have any other rules that we don't like outside of boarding? That's more of a process that we think could use some optimization for improvement.
Yes.
Is there anything else in real life that we think that we would want to change?
You know what I don't like? It's not necessarily a rule, but when the self-checkouts at the grocery store, there's 13 of them and only 4 of them are open. Like, what do we do? Like, why is that? Because it's 4:00 on a Wednesday.
Yep, I agree.
Like, no, open the bitches up, dude. Like, we got places to go. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah. So we're all about the process here. We're nothing's.
Yes, big process.
And there's probably more that we could think of over a longer period of time.
I have another one that's just personal. That's more like not nobody experiences this other than a small group of people like myself, where
elite athletes.
Yeah. People who can give the player perspective.
Wilson's like I really hate the thunder sticks. They really distract me at my rec basketball
during a free
games.
throw.
I'd still make 8 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, but the thunder sticks just distract me.
Oh, I definitely would make at least 8 out of 10. No, it's that when you're trying to be in a band, as I am, and you want to get on to the lineup of a tour, okay? Mm-hmm. There is 0 chance that you can get on that, even if you have people that want to see you, you have more monthly listeners than other people, you have more followers, you've built up a thing, unless you have a booking agent that is also booking for bigger bands. because then they just trade. That's like, it's not a rule, but it's just the way
it's all
happens.
about who you know.
It's
an unwritten rule.
They just trade. It's like, oh, I'll put your small band as an opener for my big band on this tour, but you got to do that for me as well. So you could just never get on good shows.
Interesting. So
wow.
That's not where I expected you to go with that at all. And you're right. That is a
it sucks.
subset of people, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
If that's Wilson, if that's what's grinding your gears, man, like,
it is.
If that's what's burning your pancake,
like,
bro,
you
let it float.
It has for years. It's the same thing where it's like they no longer let like local openers on most shows. In the heyday of like emo and scene music, it was like, you're the local band, you can play, you can open the show potentially for like good Charlotte, or like Paramore comes to town, you could play that show. Your band
not anymore.
No,
it's all about who you know, brother. That's life, man.
That's
life, right? It's like your status on Delta, dog. You're born in Zone 6. See ya. They don't care if you get on the plane or not.
That's true.
They don't care. I'll watch you guys all walk on.
Yeah, right. And if you're one of those nuts people that sits on the window, I don't know what the hell's wrong with you, because aisle's clearly superior, but that's not nor here nor there.
No. Yeah, aisle is. If you're not aisle, you're doing it.
Yeah,
wrong.
I agree. Wilson, you better agree with this.
Oh, are you window guy? Are you 12 looking out the window?
I'll say the only reason that I would contend there that the window seat is potentially better is I don't want to have to ever get up for somebody else once I've gotten on the flight. And when you're sitting on the aisle, there's two people that could potentially make you have to get up because they have to go to the bathroom. And that's the worst part about the flight for me is I have to either wake up, stop my movie, or I'm working on my laptop and I have to shut it down and put the tray table up.
Oh, how do you survive?
It's just annoying.
No, dude, what you do is when they do that, you just look at them, you say, no, you're all set, and they sit back down.
Or Steve just says, go ahead, hop over, big dog. Go ahead. Let's see if you can
just pick them up and move them. Yeah.
And then Steve wears his tank when he does that too, so no one's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just going to hold it. I'm just going to piss in my seat. I think I'm good. Thanks.
No.
I'm not going to try to go by,
Yeah. No, there's some weird shit that happens on an airplane. I sat next to a girl one time that just covered herself with a sheet, like a bed sheet, like a white bed sheet, and looked like a fucking Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Wow.
The whole flight.
Sounds like an
Like that was the whole flight. It was weird. She put it on and like put her headphones on over the sheet. I was like,
respect.
She's identifying as a ghost.
She was vaping under there for sure.
Yeah, right. God knows what was going on there.
Yeah, I've been next to people too who are just vaping openly. Awesome. Also weird.
Yeah. I don't want
knew the guy very well. Wasn't a fan of it.
Breathe in that shit. Come on, get that out of here.
Well,
anyways, well, that was. I'd say so. No other. That was. I thought we'd have more, and I can't think of anything off the top of my mind outside of the Wilson. You took my airplane one. But in terms of processes, things I don't like. Costco, we could use some bags. We don't need to do the boxes when we check out. We could just use a bag.
Oh,
but that's minor.
You know what?
Minor.
I'll say yes. The boxes at Costco.
Can we
like? Am I really? Is this the reason that you're giving me paper towel at such a good deal? Yeah. Is because you're not carrying bags. That would. Yeah. There's no
frustrating. Yeah. Old crusty boxes is what I do. I pay for my executive membership at $125 a year. I don't need to load my groceries in an old banana box that's soiled with banana juice in it. I would just prefer a brown paper bag, maybe, or a plastic bag, whatever.
I'll also say there's a rule that I wish existed that doesn't exist.
Steroid use?
And it is
in pro sports?
No.
Okay. You have to use steroids.
That's if we're going to go back to the sports thing. I think most PEDs should be allowed. Yeah. But that's a different topic. I think there should be a rule on custom license plates. Like you can't have that customs license plate because it's fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like when someone,
it's like it has to pass the Steve check. Like when it says like says like louder or something on it, or like some.
No, like I remember when I worked out in Birmingham for a while. When I used to work out there, I would hit the gym in Birmingham, and there's this woman there. She was probably in her 50s. Just like Real Housewives of Birmingham type lady.
Birmingham, Michigan, by the way, for those that may not
Birmingham, Michigan, not Alabama.
Very yuppity area around here.
Yep.
Yes. Very different from Birmingham,
Which
Alabama.
The three of us do not live in Birmingham, let's be clear of that. But
no. But she drove like this purple Camaro with yellow pinstripes. and the license plate was Love LUV 2, and then PRR Love to Purr.
Oh,
And I was like, you are cheating on your spouse, first of
Wow.
all. Like, there's no doubt about that. And secondly, someone at the DMV has to go, ma'am,
No.
we can't do that.
We're not going to allow this. Like, we have to reject this.
Yes.
Like, show me your picture, show me your custom license plate, and it's a no.
I think it should be a
Sorry.
like we're going to the Steve Secretary of State. Is that what this is? We're going to the
Secretary of Steve. Yeah,
I more so
That's
like the
hilarious.
rule that you have to use steroids if you're going to play professional sports.
Yeah.
You
No, so
don't have a choice.
Wilson, that I don't think that was just Steve just saying you have to use steroids for sports. I think it was just in life in general.
Yeah,
like,
oh,
no
yeah.
matter what you do.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Literally
benefits.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of benefits to
Like
it.
I might juice up tonight. I don't know. We'll see how the night goes. I don't know.
should.
I'm thinking
Yeah, you should.
that way I can have some muscles,
Wow.
But
Yeah, listen, when I'm 114 and you guys have been dead for 40 years, it's
what is this, Tuck Everlasting? You drinking from the fountain of life?
What
The
a
hell's going
call.
on?
Just-
Tongue everlasting.
Yeah,
Oh, my
Come
God.
on. We love that book in middle school. Let's go.
fuck everlasting.
Oh, man. Okay.
This was great.
Well,
This was great.
We got to shut that down.
Yeah.
Because that was, I could go on for another hour about
Yeah.
that. But
just be, you know what? You might see a couple more of these episodes.
What
where
about
we-
Tuck Everlasting?
no, about,
Oh.
I could probably think of 10 more rules in sports that I
Yeah,
Hate.
there's a wide list. So
I like the rules in life.
do too.
I think is my favorite.
Yeah.
Leave some comments if you got thoughts on either. We would appreciate the feedback. If you got something you don't like, or if you think one of the three of us or all three of us are morons, please comment.
Please
We'd like to
tell
hear
us.
it.
We love that. Yeah.
If you can be specific with who
Yeah.
it is too, that'd be great. Just to make sure I don't
Yes.
lose my confidence. Thank you.
We'll put you can vote.
Yeah.
For who's the biggest moron.
Yes. All three. Easy answer.
Definitely.
Yes, and it'll be a tight race for second
Yeah.
place between Robbie and Wilson.
Hey, fair. Okay, I'll take that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
All right. Well, we got to get out to a Tigers game because they're unbelievable and we're blowing it because we've not gone to a game together. So we got to do that. And then everybody out there listening. Yep. Go ahead.
Sorry, just the Tigers game. June 13th, Ludacris is playing after the Tigers game
Is it
at
does the
Comerica Park.
ticket to the game get you the Ludacris show?
Yeah,
Oh,
dude,
okay.
he's playing he's like the post game performance.
Sick. I didn't know they did that.
I didn't either.
Let's
but
go.
I was. I mean,
Is
I
that a
love me
Friday?
some Luda. I think it
What
is.
if
Probably
we-
have tickets. 'Cause
Okay.
I got my tickets. Hold on, let me
Nice.
see.
Let me see. We might have the dance recital stuff that day. I gotta see. That might be our dance recital.
Well,
All right. Well, we can figure
let you
this
know.
out.
What I was
offline.
going to
That could
say
be a
is
If there's a
possibility.
day, if there's a day, it's like Ludacris or if Pitbull comes to town too, we should do.
Luda.
this is
I love
great
it.
because then I was going to say, everybody out there listening, if we're going to go, well, we should announce the date and everybody can come up meet us and we can sign autographs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we'll see all of our friends will show up because that's the only one that listens to this pod.
And you can
It'll be
tell
great.
us who's a moron in person. How about that?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Great.
Cool.
Perfect.
Well, thanks for listening to another hour and 7 minutes of Take the Points. We appreciate you. Leave us comments, share the show, and as always, we'll see you back here very soon on Take the Points.
A true underdog podcast.